try and do this before the sun goes away because I am cheap and don't have lights.
Okay, just to clarify, I in no way think that I am like crazy relevant and that loads of people are going to watch this and are going to want to know about my life and my like complete incompetence, but that doesn't matter. This is a story I want to share about how I broke my leg this February. I went skiing again. I went to Austria. It was great. Austria's a very nice place with some very nice people. Some very strange people, but also some very nice people. And so I thought it was like a good idea to join ski school. And so it was basically me, some other people who were very nice and I made friends with, and like a bunch of like middle-aged people who have never skied before and, you know, wanted to have some fun. So yeah, during this week I like got really good. My skills were good. I won a competition. I won something. Like, I won something. I don't win things. I'm usually like the person that doesn't win. Okay, so I have 2 medals here. This one was for coming last place in like a talent show, a really irrelevant talent show. And this one isn't mine, it's my friend's. She gave it to me because she has loads of medals and I felt like I needed one. The loser, like capital L, loser. So I was like really like, yeah. It was me, 2 other people and our instructor, and she was like, let's go off piste, let's go down like some black run, like some black dragon hot pepper. So I was like, yeah, I can do this, and I did it once, and I was like dying the whole time. I was like, I'm gonna die, like snow plowing the whole way down. And then I got to the bottom and I was like, I was just astounded that I didn't die, because in my brain I was like, I'm gonna die, I'm going to die, because usually things do go wrong, and it didn't go wrong. And then my instructor's like, let's do it again, in like Austrian. And I was like, yeah, pumped, like adrenaline, like pumping. And so I did it again. And it was a lot faster this time because I wasn't terrified. Like, my balls had increased like that much in size. My metaphorical balls. Like, if I did it, and it was fine. And then this black run that we went down leads off onto a blue run. And if you're not familiar with like skiing terms, that's the easiest. That's like where they put the babies. And I'm just like, look at me, going like 1,000,000,000 miles per hour, thinking I'm like some cheetah Usain Bolt hybrid, because I'm just like, yeah, I can do this, I'm the best, look at me, just like, I fell. I was terrified, because I fell, and it was more like, I fell, and then I went, and I carried on falling. I stopped falling, and I'm just laying there on the snow. And I'm like, I can't move my leg, I can't move my leg, I can't move my leg. And no one would listen to me. Like, and the instructor's like, are you sure you can't get up and like ski to this chair? I was just like, no! 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 No means no. I can't further elaborate on that. They're like, okay, so do you need me to call an ambulance? And I'm like, I think maybe you need to call an ambulance, because like, how else am I gonna get down? And I'd seen like a few helicopters come down and like get some dead bodies. Like, I mean, I don't think they were dead, but they weren't in good shape. I was like, I don't want to get in a helicopter because I don't like flying. Like, the flight there scared me. I'm not getting in a helicopter with like a broken leg. This like snowmobile, I'm not even joking, like a snowmobile collected me and I got on it. This man had to physically lift my body on it because I couldn't stand, and drove me to the ski lift. And I sat there for like 2 minutes, like this, bear in mind, it's like a 20-second like drive. And so I sat there and waited for someone to bring me a wheelchair, and they brought me a wheelchair. And I sat in the wheelchair for like a good 10 minutes before anyone like came and rescued me. And by this point I was like crying. You know, I've got a very high pain threshold, and it wasn't even that it was hurting. I was just terrified. I get in like the cart thing that collected me, and we went down, and I was like feeling my knee. I was like, something's not right here. I could feel like that's my knee, and to the side of my knee it was like that big, like a lump. I was freaking out. I was like and we reached like the ski centre, you know, places where you like rent your skis. And my dad's there, and he's like, okay, well, there's obviously something wrong with you, so I'm going to take your skis and give them back and, like, get my money back for, like, tomorrow or something like that. And I'm like, no, don't bring my skis back inside, I might be okay for tomorrow. And everyone just kind of, like, it was just like that, like, stupid, like, this is stupid. So I drove to the hospital. And this Austrian hospital is, like, bougie. Austria is the place to go with your medical needs. And so I get called in for an x-ray on my own, and I'm in like my wheelchair, like going into the x-ray room, and I need to get like my skiing clothes off my legs so they can x-ray it, and also I need to get on this like table, and the woman doesn't help me. So I'm sitting here, just like trying to move my clothes off, and finally she's like, oh, you need help? You need help? That's my really terrible Austrian accent. And I'm like, yes, I need help. I'm here for a reason. I'm crying for a reason. And so she helps me. She takes them off, which I guess was nice. I wouldn't want to touch someone's mangled leg. And she helps me get onto the x-ray table. Then I take the x-ray, and I'm looking at the x-ray, and I'm just like, it looks fine, you know, I've probably just like dislocated my knee. And then they look at my x-ray, and I get called into like the consulting room. I sit on another table. I'm crying. And there's this woman, she seems really nice. And I'm like, is it okay? Is it okay? And she looks at me dead in the eyes and goes, no, it's not okay. It's really not okay. I flip. I like start crying hysterically. I was like, I'm gonna die. And then meanwhile this is happening, this like other woman approaches me, and she obviously wants me to take off like my leggings that you wear underneath like the ski trousers, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, you have trouser underneath? And I'm like, huh? She's like, you have trouser underneath? And I'm like, why would I have trousers underneath my leggings? And she's like, you don't have trouser underneath? And I'm like, no. And then she goes and gets these like huge green like flannel type of like, you know, hospital wear. This woman comes back up to me and she gets my leggings and she just yanks them down like. You can't do that to people when they're conscious. You ask them. She just takes my clothes and goes. And she just pulls them down. And then she says, you do have pant, and you do have trouser, you do have pant. And I'm like, oh. And she starts tugging at my underwear. And I'm like, oh. When does underwear translate into trouser? I mean, I know it must be difficult because they didn't speak much of the language. Like, I don't mean to be disrespectful or anything. And I'm freaking out. And the woman who's like consulting me is like, okay, so when you might need like an operation, and I'm like, because I've never had an operation. I don't want to have an operation. I don't want people inside my body. That is so unnatural. Like, I don't even like taking hay fever tablets, like, to stop me sneezing and like snotting profusely. Like, I don't want like all these things in my body to make me sleep so you can slice me open and like touch my insides. No. And then she was like, okay, we're gonna have to go to the cast room and get a cast. And inside I was like a little bit excited because, you know, when you're young and you like, you want to cast, like you want to cast, you're like, break my arm, Cynthia, I want to cast, you know, like that crazy little girl from that orphan movie that's like, and she breaks her arm. So he's such a deranged psychopathic child. These two like Austrian men, and they lay me down on this table and they like prop my leg up, and my leg looks like deformed, like deformed. They like indicated my ankle, and this man's like, you need a cast from here to here, and he touches the bottom of my ankle and the top of my thigh, and I'm like, you're joking, right? He's like, no, I'm not joking, he's not joking, and I freak out. I'm like, so they wrapped this cast on, and I was crying, like I was distraught. It was like I'd just seen like terrible traumatic things, and these two men were just like joking and laughing around with each other, like talking in German. And I've been learning German for the past, what, 3.5 years? Did I understand one word? No. And they're laughing, I'm crying, I think they're laughing at me, my leg hurts, they're like touching it, I don't want you to touch it, and I hadn't shaved my legs in like a week. Like, who shaves their legs when they're skiing? Like, you need the extra warmth. Like, I needed, like, I didn't have much winter blubber at that point because it was February and I kind of shed my winter blubber, so I needed hair, like body hair. So the hospital thing's like good and done. I was filled with embarrassment and humiliation. But the problem is, like, we were still in Austria. And so we get to this airport in Austria, and I'm waiting for someone to bring me a wheelchair because, like, if anyone has been on crutches, they know the struggle. Like, and so finally someone brings me my wheelchair, and la la la, we go through customs. Getting on this plane is going to be a bit of a problem, isn't it? Because it wasn't like a plane with, like, you know, the big tunnels we walk through. It was like a stairs plane. They get me on like a cherry picker, literally. Like the things that go like. So the plane's okay. I sit on the plane, my leg really uncomfortably, and then this plane lands, and it like lands on one wheel first. It like goes down and it's like, and like I die because like I'm in so much pain, and this pain is just like, I'm just like, why? Anyway, so I get home. My life's kind of turned to just altogether, like, it was a good experience. I like skiing. Hopefully I'm gonna go again